Hey everyone, this is Ultra Runner. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a very quick look at the newly released Steeljaw from Transformers the movie SS86 line by Hasbro. Know there's a lot of talk about this particular figure that's going on right now, and I think the biggest part of it is the fact that this guy's amazingly underwhelming. And, that's usually not a good sign when you're looking to pick something up. It is a core class, so with core classes, I do give them a lot of grace because it's a cheap figure. I mean, it's $10, it's not a Leader or a Voyager or any kind of stuff like that. I mean, it's a cheap figure, so, what are you expecting? Granted, I do still feel that even for that, as a cheap figure or cheaper figure, however you want to name it, I call it, there is some level of execution that should happen for us as collectors. If you're looking to pick something up, you shouldn't have a caveat of, well, it's $10, so it should be, it's okay if it's trash, and that's never going to be the case. But I do, like I said, I do extend a little bit of grace to Hasbro for some of these figures that are core class. But I think what we've learned here with this particular one is that this figure probably should have been included with Blaster. I mean, for all intents and purposes. We all understand that these guys are out there trying to sell stuff and make money and, keep the line alive and stuff like that. But some things should just really just be what they are, and it's just an accessory, just like Eject was with Blaster. This is probably should have been an inclusion, because once we start to look at it, I mean, it's pretty obvious that this guy is not, all it's cracked up to be. So we'll start off with, the first piece here. Oops. It's just the little speaker that comes with them that you use on them. Definitely not anything that's happened in the movie. That goes with Blaster from a particular episode of the show. We're in the bar. Oh, they're in the club. I think that was the episode with Trax. But, out of the box, this is the figure here in its cassette form. And as you can see, this is not really that convincing of a cassette. You put in here next to Eject, which I think Eject is probably pretty underwhelming as well, especially compared to like Rumble and Frenzy, which they did a phenomenal job with the engineering. Eject is just a redo of an old unit, and to me, he's not impressed with no weapons, nothing like that at all. But that's what you put with. I don't mind that because he came with Soundwave. I'm sorry, he came with Blaster. Whereas like here we have this pretty basic figure here, and here's Blaster, and he does fit in Blaster, but from what I understand, he only goes in if you put him in a certain way. Yeah, that's not even want to really go in easily. No, that's very snug. Yeah, I'm not going to force it in there just because I don't want to get him out, but it looks like it'll go, but it's very, very snug. Outside of that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think this is one of those characters that you picked up just because you wanted to pick him up, not because, and have him fill a hole in the collection. So much of that is what we normally do. Like, I don't mind, like I say again, if it's a situation where these guys are like, hey, well, we're making this and this is the representation of it. Well, that's fine. Not a big deal. But if you're, for what this guy turns into, this is, like I said, again, this is very very, very underwhelming. You know, the legs don't have any kind of joints on them. You know, ball joint, nothing. No type of hinge, so it's just a stiff leg there. I mean, the only cool thing is probably the whole situation of the mane. I mean, that was pretty neat. The fact that they actually made the mane, made the mane, where it was looking more reminiscent of his character model. But to me, looking at that, I just don't look at this and go, you know what, this is worth $10. This is $5, or like say free with blaster. You know, because even eject here, you know, you look at eject and him transformed, it's not really impressive either. But again, I don't care because this is free. I mean, yeah, I know it's included in the price of the unit, but you know, that's a relatively inexpensive thing, and I don't mind it as an accessory. So let me move this over here. Let me go grab Rumble and Frenzy real quick. And for me, the problem was with this guy, with eject, is if you look at him next to Rumble and Frenzy, so I'm just going to take Frenzy's pile drivers off. So we can get his hands out here. I don't think this guy's been transformed since the day I got him. So super stiff as well. But I mean, side by side, you know, I'll bring those guys up close here. I mean, the detail, I mean, you actually have articulated wrists that move, separate looking hands. He's noticeably larger and better feet design. You've got the blasters, you know, in the back. It's customary stuff. I mean, this guy doesn't even come with a gun. And then you've got the power drivers, you know, and in comparison with Steeljaw, you know, yeah, it's transformed. I would say this guy definitely looks comparable, but it's still not as good as it should be, because to me, this was worth $10. This was not worth $10. And at the end of the day, what it boils down to is, what am I getting for the money I'm spending? And in this case, I'm just going to chalk up Steeljaw to, hey, well, I need a representation on the shelf. And that's what I got. Same thing, I guess, when they drop Rewind, you know, it's just going to be one of those things where you got what you got, and I'm okay with it. We'll move on. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of third-party tapes out there that are definitely much better than these guys here, but across the board, this is just exactly what it is. This is for representation. It's not to be admired. It's not to be praised. It's not to be looked at like, hey, this is a great piece of engineering. I think it's just literally a representation, and sometimes you get those. I think Blaster is a really good representation as well, because they did a good job of taking a really good mold from the start and just doing a little tweaking to it, paint wise and color wise, to make him SS86. But could he have been re-engineered? Yeah, he definitely could have, to be better, but that's not a big deal. I don't really mind that. But again, this guy should have been free. Should have come with Blaster. Honestly, they should have did like what they're doing with the new Soundwave, or I guess the re-release of Soundwave. They should have just dropped all of these tapes in one big Blaster package. I'd have paid like $80 for Blaster and all 4 of the tapes, you know, and just call it good enough. I mean, that's really all they should have really done. This shouldn't be something where they're selling these figures separately, $10 each, because this is going to end up being what, you know, well, I guess they're going to have 2 that come with an updated Perceptor, but anywho, again, very disappointing, but again, like I said, for me, it's just representation. I'll put them on the shelf and never look at them again. If they come out with a better version of them, which I doubt, I may or may not pick it up. But outside of that, that's about it. You know, hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below. Thanks a lot. Later.